G'day, we are back playing more of Oxygen Not Included, still attempting to solve the world's problems. So, firstly, let's continue to just do our mop-ups over here. I know I left the save facing this way. Hey, look at that, there's actually a line of water underneath it and the pipe's blocked. Everything's back. We're finally actually getting some water in there. That's huge. Alright, so with these guys, I've stopped this one, which I think was a it might not be too big a problem. I mean, I suppose it's just this insulated liquid in these pipes is going to get real hot as that cools. We need to wait for the turbine to get cool enough that that guy can start going. Same goes for this guy. He's still slowly working his way down. I really should do something about speeding up their cooling process, but I haven't. So that is just a matter of time. If we go back to what else are we looking at the moment? Let's check the status of our rocket. Now, for our rocket, overshot him. We're getting close. Is gas currently pumping, or have I hit the pipes? Apparently, we've got nothing going. So we need to get 84. Got 83 liters through. Let's find this guy. Go 83. Reset the amount. Start pumping. Now, the big thing that I need to do here, and I've made this mistake a couple of times already, is I need this guy to go to here, not there. But you can see there's, say, the rocket sitting on there, but every time I feel like every time I go to change it, I think I've changed it, and he ends up just sort of launching to that point. So I've got to tell this rocket to go there. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the little rocket symbol on that guy. Currently can't travel that far, because he just needs a little bit more fuel in the tank, but at least we'll get more sort of resources that will allow us to get the better unlocks to allow that to happen. We can probably also start just getting the dig order going here, because there's not too much more. If we're lucky, we can get that guy off and running today. Not too much more fuel to get in there. There we go. It's very slow, Chucky self. Moving over. It does always bring me back to the thought that I probably need to get more liquid sort of dripping into this room. And like I said, I was thinking that it needs to be something similar to the setup here. So I'm using a gas valve and a gas meter valve. Now, do we have a liquid valve? Liquid valve, and do I have a liquid meter valve? Yes. So, if I was to say to put a liquid meter valve in here somewhere, just in, say, like in some empty space, and then put a gas valve, a liquid valve after it, I could say put this much into that room. So you can see that currently he's at a density of what, 500 kilograms. I mean, he's still a higher density than both of these guys. More liquid to get. Part of the reason that I am doing this, I've said it before, is that this is clean water that they're cleaning up. So every time they take this water and they sweep it up, they can actually go and put it into our water resource, which is important because we have so much little water at the moment. We are starting to turn the tide on that. I was gonna say, I do wonder what happens when I get too much water in here, but I realize that potentially those liquid valves would like be full, so it wouldn't. It would actually sort of block the pipes. I mean, which also is potentially a problem because it'll stop this steam from cycling through. It's alright, we'll address that when we come to it. We are still down on gas. This room is so full of gas. Bit of oxygen in there too. How did that sneak in? Oh, was it because I had to open this up? Is that hurting these guys if I'm pumping polluted oxygen into their pipes? No, because there's a filter. Okay, so they'll pump that out correctly. Did we have one more? Was that guy? Was there one more? This guy. Saltwater geyser. Yeah, we don't care for him. Got that guy going. This guy's operating. So our oil is all in production, all 3 of our points. That's success. Suppose I don't need... I could dig out this way to allow him to get oil down there, but it doesn't matter too much. Around that as need be. Like something that's just a raw fossil. There's nothing in this bottom corner. Should be hunting, is there? Because these guys are just on granite. They're not on material like the other guys were. So I wonder if possibly there's something in here that would be worth digging up. Very least there's a reserve of oil up here that would be nice, but we're now making oil. Probably not too important. There's a lot of liquid in this section, but that all looks like it's just this biome is just heating up. And if it gets all the way down here, then this guy will just pump it up into this reservoir. So that's covered as well. This steam vent I don't have any set up for at the moment. What I want to do with him? Really what we'd like is for his liquid to end up over here. Suppose I could also run him this way. Get him down to this side. I mean, he'd have to get underneath that though. It's unreachable, so let's go. Let's build across a little bit. Alright, we're still building this as well. You guys have some polluted oxygen in their room, but not too much. Not compared to what this room's looking at. I think that I've got to get rid of those 2 ladders for now. In fact, I might cancel those ones as well. And I'll cancel that because it hasn't been built. And instead what we'll do is we're just going to start to block out the area. So what we'll get them to do is we're going to, similar to what we did up here, is we're going to get them to fill this whole room with wall. And then once... cancel that one so they can still get through to this metal tile. And once they've finished doing that, then I will get rid of all the wall going this way so that sort of we've pushed it out and they're in the oxygen-rich environment of the inside the wall and not the polluted oxygen environment of outside the wall. Right, talk to me, rocket ship, how are we doing? Gotten about 10 more in there, so hopefully we should have that flying today. Speed things up. I think we're in a little bit of a better spot now that this is winning. Kind of like what we're waiting for, I guess. These guys are overheating again just because there's steam still hitting them. He needs the temperature to get down to... What's his requirement? So it was like 125 or something. Turbine too hot. So that's possibly just because it's in a room filled with steam. Maybe what I need to do for this guy, because there's nothing about like what's actually in the room matters too much. So I'm gonna say, just open that door, let some heat in, like let some cooler air in, 69-degree air, to get rid of that 120-degree temperature that's in there. So I would say we can now enable this guy. And let's get rid of more of that. Like I said, this is all water I can use, so we may as well try and claim it. If I just let it run down, it will go down into here, but because of our shortage of water, we may as well try and recover it. Okay, so getting that out of there should hopefully cool this guy down a bit. You can see he's already dropping down to 115 degrees. I want to get in there and repair this guy. I mean, it's just a continuous cycle of mopping this stuff up because there's still just more and more steam that's coming down. But you can see that, yeah, that guy's still dropping in temperature. This guy's now happy at least. I've still got a while to go. Not enough steam. Right, so this guy was the one that we actually have to get him all the way down to get the polluted oxygen out. So he's waiting a long time, that fella. But luckily, his primary role is to give us more water, and this guy is now on the warpath of just supplying us with water. Part of what's happening there is that we upped the allowed temperature. So what if we drop that to 26? You can see that that's sort of really changing his tune, that he's not just letting everything through. A lot of that is just going through at just below 28 degrees. So that certainly will hurt, but we do want that water to be cooler. Ideally, we want it at about 24. And I guess the more full this room gets, the more we can lower that requirement to basically mean that less is getting through. Let's take some mushrooms. Seems quite good. I don't want more people. I don't think I've got any need to have more. Need to get back to figuring out my auto sweeper situation. These guys are all too hot. Now, they aren't enjoying the luxury of the radiant pipes. Everyone else is. This guy's still overheating. He's made with lead, whereas the other ones in this area are made with steel. Can I just... let's deconstruct him, and let's just do this at the ultra priority. Just so we can get it done. Or someone's operating off him. Alright, more fun mopping. Does look like he's starting to drop a bit quicker. His temperature's also getting down a little bit. But I mean, I guess the area isn't good for something that's made of lead. He's lead as well. Once that door can be closed and he's sort of locked in, that might be a little bit better. We've just basically got to wait for that steam to go. This guy's still running at a negative, I think. What's going on? Okay, so these guys' issue is actually that they're blocked sending that out. Now, where is our ejector space? That's that. So if we go... Wait, that's just... It's just not Watsy though, is it? It's well, it's actually pretty low dosage, whatever it is. This isn't a huge area that this is going to continue to pump through. So slot that into there. And then we can say deconstruct all of that. Similar thing, we can say deconstruct all of that. And even though they're full at the moment, by the time this is done, they'll be right. I've just got to make sure that this pumps out the right way. Essentially, there's so little that, like, once they pump this gas out, that gas is then just gone, and it's just natural gas that they're getting. So this should only take a second to sort of clean up. And I mean, it's going to backlog those guys above it, but again, that doesn't matter too much because they just sort of roll into each other because they're all so tiny. Should see real quick that this guy just finishes. Basically, the idea is that both of them... I mean, you can already see that this guy's now got his pipe full of natural gas again, which is also great because part of this means that this pipeline is going to stop being used, and that's the one that we don't want to be used because it's where our reservoirs are. And you can see that's all pretty much took, and now this guy is basically clean. This guy's got a bit more to go. He's got a little bit, but basically now the reason that he's stopping isn't because his pipe's blocked to get rid of like non-natural gas. It's blocked because he's got too much natural gas, which is ideal. It's our preference. Interestingly, this guy's, I guess, what turbine's too hot, and that means he's not generating any gas or any energy, because there's, I guess, nothing showing up there. Like, you can see this guy's at least got like a little bit of a bar there, which this guy doesn't. He's reached his amount. This guy's not pumping anything. So how are we doing pipes wise? We done? 499. Okay. So we need to assign meat. We need to extend the gantry. We apparently can't get to because I think that what I need to do is build a door here. Deconstruct. Oh, it's some urgent business there. Deconstruct that. Deconstruct that. Oh, and that one. deconstruct that. You then want to copy out steel and put one there. We'll then take a manual airlock, make it from steel. Him there. Then do that so that you sort of get up, but you're not having stuff sneak through the edge. Basically, we've got to wait for that to a meep to get in. Destination set beyond rocket's reach. They're the same distance apart, right? 1,000. Max range at 6,000. Is max range so limited at the moment? Ah, because I was thinking he was close to 500. No, it's got to be close to 900. Okay, so we want to say reset amount 400. Why are you not letting me type? 400. That's a bit of a nuffy. That one? Alright, so I guess we're nowhere near that one going. I wonder if what I need to do is uninsulate this pipe to allow these guys to get a little bit more of a cool area. Still dropping. Still dropping. Well, that's not that one that I care about, is it? It's this one. That one's still dropping. Water's still dropping. Let's claim it all. There's already a liquid valve there. What's his current setup? He's not being used, is he? Flow control. I mean, if I went, say... So it was that, and it was a meter valve. So if we went plumbing, liquid meter valve. Put him sideways. He's going to be in an awkward spot anyway. Maybe let's deconstruct that. It's pipe through the middle here makes... I mean, it's piping everywhere here. I'm allowed to deconstruct this to sort of use that space, but... already got piping through it. And demolish this stuff. Let's clear this room out. Where that liquid came from? Oh, it must have been north somewhere. There are germs in that water. Very few germs. There are germs, and if I pick it up, it's going to go into the water supply. Those guys are too hot, but I mean that water should eventually cool down, I think, as it goes through. This is still looking quite good. Water at that end's now much cooler than this end. It's 30 degrees at that end, which is part of the reason why we want to encourage it to be a bit cooler as it's going in. More mopping. You got to be the name of this episode, I would say. Let's zoom in on someone mopping. Okay. Now, something's overheating in here. Contents of the pipe is at 80 degrees because it's just been sitting there for so long that it's freaking out. I mean, at least it gives me an idea of how much water there can be within steam, because there's so much of it just continually going here. So, okay. Talk to me about the available space here for liquid. So I got a new thought. I've removed the stuff from in that room, but I actually reckon that I want to use liquid from sort of up here. It's going to be the hottest. So let's go. That's the valve meter, right? So liquid valve meter. White is out. So put him there. Then we'll take a... Oh, sorry. Wrong one. Liquid valve meter is the first one it goes through. So he goes... You weren't showing me your arrows. There we go. Okay. He goes there. Then we take a liquid valve, turn him upside down, and he goes there. Then what we do is we take... Doesn't really have to be insulated. Liquid pipe. Copy one to the other. We then get this pipe down to here. So what I'm going to do is I'll... May as well take that spot there. So we'll copy this guy, put him there. Then we're going to run liquid pipe from him across. No, cancel. Where did I get insulated pipe? Don't want insulated pipe, so it's standard pipe. Copy. Up. And then we go liquid bridge. White in. Yep. That. Then we copy our liquid vent here. We put him there. Okay, another liquid bridge. Put him there. Another one and put him there. Guy's overheating. Alright, so let's deconstruct him. Lead must have a real low threshold. Must be all the lead stuff that's not happy. Okay, so that was a... that's the liquid valve, so this will be the liquid valve meter. Yeah, minus 20. We're getting... oh, I guess we just haven't made anything with them. Let's just go gold. Now we'll put him there. As I say, it looks like it's sucking stuff up, whereas it's not. It's, Okay, so here we go. This guy here, I'm going to say, you're allowed to send 1 gram. You're going to be sending me nothing. Let's find some wiring that this guy can be a part of. This guy, based on the fact that I'm taking, like, hundreds of, like, every single space trip has taken, like, 1,000 liters of steam. I would assume that that would mean that I could potentially, say, put 2,000 kilos, 500 max for now, into that room. So basically what we want to see is that at the smallest drip, this is going to send liquid that is at about 50 degrees into this room, that hopefully the steam, it'll be in such a small amount that the steam will immediately heat it up. And so we're not going to get left with water on the bottom. It's going to become a product of its environment as opposed to the environment becoming a product of it. No power. Did I not hit the... Right, we've got that one spot to go. More lead. Let's claim more water. Slowly, slowly. There you go. So that's his steam temperature below 125. So I don't know how this guy's sort of happy with it at 185. It actually says that I've got to disable that guy again then, because this guy's not cool enough yet. And he's just... It's like he's turning over, but he's not actually doing anything. Eventually that'll... Turning him off will also speed up the steam cooling process around here, that we don't have a heavy machine in operation. That looks full, but we swap over to our liquid, we can see it is the tiniest little drop. 1,000 milligrams of water. That it's not even registering as a drop. That really, I could only assume, I guess, that it's going in there. Point that I'm not even confident that it is. It's not connected there, is it? There we go. So it genuinely isn't going in there. Let's put a major priority on that, because I've suddenly just created this, that there actually are building up that one point that this will drop a huge chunk when it first arrives. Done. Okay, so there we go. So that initial drop probably would have been a bit heavier than what else we've got in there. But what we're now seeing is that it's just moving. And as long as I remember that every time I sort of reset this, I also want to reset this. So liquid out equals liquid in, essentially. This room's not going to run out of steam. Although, again, potentially I don't need that much more steam, because once this guy's ready to reach this point, can't do just yet. At least I've set it so it's shifted, and so it means that the next time we do this, I'm not going to just forget again. Let's just bite the bullet and let 12 germs worth of stuff come and cause us problems. Everyone came up to help with this one. Now, how are we doing with this guy down here? Actually, this is something that I haven't paid attention to for a while. Let's go copy. We'll build that one and that one. And that one. Suppose we can get him to build that whole bottom row. Well, since I regularly forget about the existence of this, it does seem... Can they actually reach that? Have I made that unreachable? Let's find out. There we go. Basically, we'll just make sure that this one can get built, and then once we've done that, then I think we'll call it a day. Lovely. So still in the process of some major works, but we are in a much better spot. We've now got this tank of water that's siphoning down that allows us to have our oil production going, and so that oil's now operating non-stop. Now solved our problem of these two, and you can see that that still has a little bit of polluted oxygen in it. He's got some carbon dioxide. He's got a lot of carbon dioxide in his room, actually. But he's definitely shut off, yeah. But again, all of that we can now just sort of jettison off into space. Actually really surprised at how much they've got going on there. Yeah, it's not really impacting these two guys too much because they operate in such small amounts. Not sure if this guy's getting max gas pressure. Guess we got to clean out the gas in that room to allow him to be in operation again. You better believe there's more mopping to do. This guy is still, we're waiting on, but we've now got a success story and that water's coming back. So I think that with all of our operations, we're in a much more sufficient spot than we were about 3 or 4 episodes back. Yeah, any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. And until next time, catch you later. See ya.